This is a hydraulophone. We're building the world's first musical instruments that make sound from vibrations in water itself. So we built a whole bunch of different sizes and shapes of these instruments. It's like a whole new family of instruments in the orchestra. The orchestra usually has winds, percussion, strings, and a lot of them are, so winds, it's very easy to make sound from air. You can pretty much take any old pipe that you see and blow across the end of it. There's a fairly good chance that it'll make a sound. But with a water instrument, or with water in that pipe, it's much harder because the properties of water are much different. And so we've taken a lot of work to actually make a nice, stable sound. And so it's a really new way of making music. But it's not just for musicians, it's also for water parks and theme parks and even indoor sites, indoor cultural science museums, children's museums, just to be able to have a really interactive experience because it's very tactile. It's you see what you're playing, you hear what you're playing, and you feel what you're playing. Because when you touch that water jet, you have this really intimate connection with the water flow on your finger. And so that's where you really get the expression in the notes, by intimately being such close, intimate contact with the water that you can feel it turbulently rushing past your fingers. And so then you have this, you hear that really, you're trying to make a really gorgeous sound that is kind of developing an ambient experience, but also an instrument that pretty much kids can walk up to and can play random notes, and it still sounds pretty gentle. So this is kind of an example of a portable hydraulophone that you can also have a permanent version with legs that go into the ground, and you just hook it up with water supply. And all it needs is water, and then we have it on a pump, so we're saving water. We're just recirculating the water, and it just keeps on going. Hydraulophone is a new kind of instrument that combines the best of a piano and a flute, because you get, just like with a flute, you have a very intimate expression in the note. It's kind of like embouchure. See how I'm barely touching that note, and you can barely get a sound or completely block it. So you can have a very fine control with your finger motion, but you get that with many of these jets at the same time. So it makes a really multifaceted musical experience. You can play polyphonic music, so you can play chords. And you can actually have those chords change really slowly, so you can't tell a time when one chord ended and the next chord started. So it's very meditative of an experience, actually. You can actually play music that you can't play on any other musical instrument on this hydraulophone. And we also build ones that have the sharps and flats too, and many more notes. This instrument has 12 notes here, so it's an octave and a half, starting on an A, and then you can play a scale. That's a minor scale, or you can play a major scale on a C. Play very simple music, or you can play complicated classical or jazz or pop music, or folk music, pretty much any genre. But it's a very interesting, different kind of playing music. And this instrument is also designed for public parks and science museums, children's museums, to make it really easy for kids to come up, or grown-ups, and just try it out. Because it's a very interactive, kind of tactile experience. And this is really how you see what you're playing, and you feel what you're playing, and hear what you're playing. So many senses, many human senses are working at the same time. We actually we built one of these for an outdoor classroom for seeing impaired kids at this Institute for the Blind. So we actually had braille markings on all of the water jets. So again, it's a very tactile experience and visual and auditory at the same time. We are Splashtones, that's at splashtones.com. And so we build these instruments for water parks or science museums or musicians. So if you go to splashtones.com, you can order one of these and even customize. So we even build custom ones that are built into other shapes.